Okay, everybody, here we are, day 3. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for jumping on the line. Hello, Mary. Hello, Joan. Oh, wait, I gotta get the music going. I queued it all up. Okay. Hello. A little Kanye to get us dancing this morning. Here, and then I'm gonna flip on. Hello, Joe. Okay, hello, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna do what I did yesterday. I think it worked pretty well. Thank you for the heart. Give you a little music to get you going. It's called Can't Tell Me Nothing, but it seems like it's also called Wait Till I Get My Money Right. Hello, Amethyst. Hello, hello. All of you who are saying hi, just let me know your name. It's hard to tell what your name is from the On My Grind, for instance. But yeah, that's what it said. Okay, so here we are for day 3. And I'm going to do what I did yesterday, which is, hey there, Norma. Hi, Samantha. Welcome back. Thanks for all the hearts. Hello, Peaches54. Welcome back to you as well. Hello, Ashira. Nice to see you. Hello, Shirley. Yay. Okay, everyone's jumping on. I'm going to get the link so it happens. Your name is Tendalia. Okay, that's great. It's not a question mark. That's your name. That's fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to take the Periscope link. And this time I prepped. Hi, Joan. I thought I saw you there. And makes you want to get down, doesn't it? Okay, so now I'm posting it into our group. And I pre-wrote the post so that I could be a little bit more prepared for all of you. And then here we go. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Yep. Okay. So then yep. Okay, great. Here we go. Hello, Joan. And I know some of you were having trouble yesterday. Hi, Brenda. You're working, so you'll be quiet. That's totally fine. So the beauty, Brenda, just so that you know, is that I'm the one that does all the talking. You don't need to do any of the talking. That's for everybody. You just have to type in to your little screen. You can press my nose or, press the screen and add some hearts. But you don't need to do any talking, so it's totally fine if you're working. All good. We'll let the music play just for another minute. Okay. And a little background for me. I'll do a quick introduction. I have my notes here. So for any of you who are joining, who aren't in the Ditch Your Debt Challenge yet, I just wanted to give you the URL so that you can actually get the full description of what's going to be happening over this 10 days. We're on day 3 right now of the Ditch Your Debt Challenge, and I run this company called Own Your Money. This is a free 10-day virtual course that I'm doing. It's at ditchyourdebtchallenge.com. And so if you want to do a quick screenshot, do a screenshot, by the way, on an iPhone. You press in the power button on the side and then the little middle button, both just quickly. You don't have to hold them in. You just press that and then you press that and it goes snap and you get a screenshot. It's a beautiful thing. Here, try that out again. Tell me if that works. Okay. And I think a lot of you, judging from your names, are actually already in it. So that's fantastic. My name, I'll do a quick introduction here, is that, I'm going to lower this a little bit. You can still get down with me, but I'll lower it a little bit. So my name is Belinda Rosenblum. I run a company called Own Your Money. And I am leading this Ditch Your Debt Challenge. And my goal is, as I keep doing this, I don't have any plans yet to redo the challenge. Maybe around Christmas time, January, we'll have to see. But at this point, we have over 1,000 people, almost 1,100 that are all participating with us, over 500 in the Facebook group. You get access to the Facebook group once you sign up for the challenge, and then you get daily videos and lessons, essentially, to take you through 10 days of stepping into a place of power and freedom with your money, which is really what I teach you at Own Your Money. And learning how to let go of the shame and the guilt and the fear and the judgment and all of that negativity that often surrounds our money and keeps us in scarcity. When we step into this power of owning our money, then we realize that the good news, actually the great news, is that you can take responsibility. I like to think of it as taking responsibility in a way that is as sexy, fun, and cool as irresponsibility has always felt to you. So I'm emailing out first thing in the morning. Thanks for the hearts. Emailing out first thing the lessons and the videos, and then doing these live periscopes. For week 1, I'm doing them all at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is right now. And then next week I changed up the time a little bit just because I have different time zones going on. And I think I'll be changing it to, I want to say it's 10 a.m. But I'll be sending all of that out in your emails every day so that you're just really prepared and feel ready to go to ditch your debt at a very powerful level. So a little bit in terms of an overview so far. So in day 1, we did discover what's real. And it's so funny, actually, because I was watching the Today Show this morning and Susie Orman was on there and she was talking about facing your financial fears. And there was a question from the reporter about, that debt was such a big fear that people had. And that people, as we've talked about, people have over $15,000 of debt when they hold debt. And it's just crazy. And she said a nice quote that really is in line with what I was teaching you in day 1, which is you have to face it to, really you have to face it first. You have to face it to embrace it, I think was the term she used. But, really in terms of you have to face it first to be able to pay it off and get rid of it. So, and you can probably even get that at today.com to go and check out her Face Your Financial Fears segment. So, day 1 is really about discovering what's real. And I had suggested that once you fill out your table, it was a little know the facts table is what I talked about. And I did post the link to on day 1 to be able to fill it out in Excel. And if you have it in Excel, it's actually going to be a really nice lead in then for day 3. So then day 2 was a special day. Oh, sorry. And the last thing I want to mention that Susie mentioned is, I talked about sharing your total debt when you share. Some of you shared it with us on Periscope. Sorry, I made sure I had a really strong signal and Wi-Fi, and I even shut off the phone and everything else so that all the energy could go towards this Periscope. It might be your signal, so I'm sorry about that. But as soon as I'm done, make sure that you're following me. You just press that little guy there in the corner. Thanks for the hearts. And make sure you're following me so that you get notified. Hey there, Melissa. Welcome, welcome. So the other thing she talked about was, several of you, okay, thanks so much, Dee, for chiming in. I appreciate that. Several of you talked yesterday with how much debt you really had that was highlighted when you did the Know the Facts table. And we talked about anywhere from $25,000 to $47,000. I think it was almost $100,000. And so that's part of it, is being able to literally just declare it and say it out loud. And Susie even mentioned this morning that you should tell your friends, tell them how much you have, and then maybe they won't push you to keep up with the Joneses as much when they actually realize that you're carrying credit card debt and that you're committed to doing something about it. I added that last part. But that's why we're all here in the challenge. And that's why I so appreciate how everybody is really sharing this challenge. And that's what's helped us literally double over this last 4 days in terms of participation. So yay, you. And you'll have to excuse this cold. It went from child 1, child 2, and now to me. So then day 2, we wrote a breakup letter to our debt. So I'm just doing a quick overview here because I realize I'm already almost 5 to 10 minutes into it. So day 2, we wrote a letter to our debt, a breakup letter in particular. And I was inspired by Melanie Lockhart of the Dear Debt blog. And she is in our Facebook group. She's chiming in on your letters. Thank you for those of you who posted them. I was just so touched and really moved at the honesty and the vulnerability. You're welcome. You are worth the best, my dear. Welcome, welcome. And she even started posting. Some of you emailed them to her, and good for you for doing that. And she posted one up on her blog yesterday, and she'll keep posting up your letters because it really helps you release it, right? We hold on to it. It's almost like our debt serves as these chains around our wrists, these chains around our neck that keep us small, that keep us from really living the life that we want. And so by breaking up with our debt, then we can start to free ourselves, literally free ourselves from those chains. And now we move on to day 3, which is back to the tactical, where we look at what do you pay off first? And this is really, how do you prioritize this? How do you prioritize the debt? So we got a lot of questions on student loans. In general answer, you can watch my Periscopes because I talked about it on both days. But generally what happens is that, yes, you put on student debt, but when you do this prioritization table, what you'll notice is that most of the time, your higher interest rate credit card balances will take priority in getting them paid off first. And this is where you do want to include anything that you're past due on so we can make sure that you catch up. I get a lot of questions on how do we improve our credit score. Well, one of the first things you need to do to improve your credit score is to stop what's deteriorating it in the first place, which is often late payments. So if you're able to do that and nip it in the bud, we're going to talk during this 10 days about creating extra cash, giving you more options, and using that extra cash, thanks for the hearts, to pay off your debt. Then that's how we can really start to fast track. And I will teach you the snowball method. You might have heard about that as well. So, when, what I've learned, and I talk about this in the day 3 lesson, is that we create this comfort zone for ourselves. I talked about that on a past Periscope too. And you want to watch these within 24 hours. And then maybe what I'll start to do after we've now gone through a few of them is to paste up a link. We're also downloading them and getting them up on YouTube for you. So then we can be able to post a link to the YouTube as well so that you can watch the past Periscope. So you create this comfort zone of having debt, and why it was so important to really get honest about what the amount was. And then to break up with it is to start to realize that it's costing you so much worry and stress to stay in that comfort zone that's actually super uncomfortable, but that's the world that you know. And so what we're looking to do is to have you recognize that it is costing you money. And so I actually got a great graphic from my folks over at payoff.com that you'll see how the numbers really work out. And when you look at how the numbers work out, let's see if do I have it handy? I think it's in my briefcase. Yeah. When you actually start to look at how the numbers work out, what you'll notice is that you're paying, oh, you know what? Here, I'll open it up for you. I'll show you what it looks like. So if you go to, okay, there we go. If you go here, let me turn it around. Okay, so here's the Ditch Your Debt Day 3. You see how it says here, see how the numbers work out here. So if you click on that, if you click on the here, I actually asked our folks at Payoff to prepare a little graphic for us, pay off your credit cards and save over $15,000, because I wanted to be able to show how carrying a balance of $15,000 compares with getting some sort of payoff loan, or really just fast tracking how you're holding on to debt. And so we ran the numbers that essentially if you were carrying a $15,000 balance up there, you only paid the minimum, you would have it for over 27 years and over 334 months. The numbers that we ran said, you know what, let's do a 4-year loan. Most of them are 3 to 5 years. So let's do a 4-year loan at 14%, which is still a little bit high. I have had clients actually get loans through Payoff that are even lower, versus an average APR of 19. But my guess is that you have a lot in there that's actually over 19. So over the life of the loan, if you kept paying the minimum, now keep in mind it's only $15,000, you'd be paying $22,760 in finance charges versus less than $4,000 in finance charges. Now the reality, okay, is that keep in mind here, it's $15,000 either way, right, of debt. The best answer is not to have that debt and for us to find a way to pay that off as quickly as possible. Right? Yes, I appreciate the hearts. If we can and we have to finance it, then at least we do it over 4 years instead of 27 years. And we still do have to pay almost $4,000 in extra cash of finance charges, but it's way better than almost $23,000. Okay, now, once you get it paid off, okay, in that 4 years, I also had them run something else that I thought was super interesting. If the same consumer started investing that same $388 a month, so you paid it off after 4 years, and you take what you were paying for debt of $388 for the next 23 years, right? Because you don't have it for the 27, here, reminder. You don't have it for the 27, there it is. You only have it for 4. So there's 23 more years that you could be saving, okay? You could potentially accumulate over $250,000. With the newfound wealth, you can travel, you can get your education that you've been wanting, your advanced education, your home, your business, or really just your retirement savings, right? So that's what's just so amazing that can happen with this. And that's why I asked them to run some numbers for us here. Let me bring you back. Okay. So, actually, no, let me see. So we just worked out the numbers, and then I'm going to walk you through, I'll just show it to you on day 3. I'm going to walk you through this table. This is the prioritize your debt table. Okay. And you'll notice that it actually has the same columns here as your day 1 know the facts table. The difference now is that there's a priority to pay it down. Okay. So that's what's different now, so that you can actually understand your list and you can understand it in priority order. So now we're going to talk about the priorities. You guys saw the little mantras and the Post-its I have on my computer, probably. It's funny. Here, I'll read you one of them. It says, what is the stronger commitment? And so I really talk a lot about, do you want to be more committed to fear or more committed to love? And so I want you to be more committed to love and progress and let go of that fear. So anyway, quick sidebar. So what we need to do now is we need to have you prioritize your list. And so a few thoughts in terms of when you're prioritizing it. Generally, I'll have folks prioritize it from lowest to highest because we want to gain momentum. We want to get these smaller cards, smaller debts just handled and off of your plate. Because if you have, let's say, 8 debts to keep track of, that's a lot. And if you start missing one payment, then all of a sudden you have late fees on that. And you may even have a crazy high rate. We're going to talk about 0% balance transfers and specific credit cards next week. And there was one that I looked at from a client, and essentially if she was late on one payment, she was paying a 29% interest rate on the entire balance for missing one payment. So, that really does happen to people way more frequently than we want to think. So the first way that I look at it is lowest to highest. Then the next way is to start to see if there's something that has a really high emotional charge. I'll tell you a funny and very true story. So I have a client, she still is with me actually. She's in my Rich Life Mastery group. And so that's my 6-month mentoring group. I love these folks. So I love you all too, but these ones I know I know better because I end up talking to them pretty much every week. So she would write the check to her divorce attorney, and literally it's like her skin would crawl. She would get uneasy. She would get anxious. Her heart would start to beat faster because she really was so upset about the whole divorce. She was so upset with how much her divorce attorney cost her. And so essentially what I encouraged her to do was to put it on the top of the list. It wasn't the lowest amount, but I said, we need this paid off, because what it was doing was it was essentially fueling this negativity in her life every month. And even not just once a month when she paid the bill, when the bill came in the mail, like she just hated getting these letters. So I did a couple of things. First, we had her call, and she was calling so that she could say, you know what, can you just send me a whole year's worth of the bills? I don't want to get your bill every month. I will just send you a check every month. Or better yet, can I just automate my payments to you? And then she said, but before I do that, I owe you X out. It was like $2,200. And I coached her. We're going to talk actually, I think it's on Friday, about negotiating down, particularly your interest rates, but it actually works to negotiate down debts all over the place. So I had her talk to them and just say, hey, if I actually want to pay this off in full, because you are at the top of my list of debts that I want paid off. And they were very happy to hear that, let me tell you. What would I need to do to pay it off? And what I want to say, it was this pre-maternity leave. I think that sometimes you wipe your brain clean a little bit when you have a new baby. My little one is 3.5 months old. But anyway, so I want to say that it was $1,500 that they offered to her to settle the debt. So in this one phone call, she essentially saved $700, and we had been accumulating some extra cash for her so that she could start to pay off her debt build a cushion, and settle some of these where they would work with her. So, guys, I don't know why Periscope just crapped out. Yeah, please come back. Please come back. Okay. Yeah, we had a ton of you on. So we're talking about this prioritize your debt table. Okay, come back, come back. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who to even ask on Periscope, but it said there was low disk space. I'm not really sure if the low disk space is something on my phone or something in Periscope or what, but I'll give you guys just a minute to all come back, or maybe those of you who are just joining to jump on in. Okay, you guys, we're almost at the same number that we had before. Hopefully folks aren't still stuck on that past one. So yeah, feel free to introduce yourself real quick back. Okay, good. Yay, yay, yay. Yeah, okay, we have almost the same number as when we left, so that's good. So we talked about prioritizing your list. Okay, so once again, I'm Belinda Rosenblum with Own Your Money, leading this. Yay, you're back. Leading this Ditch Your Debt Challenge. We're on day 3. We're talking about what to pay off first and how to create this prioritize your debt table for yourself. By the way, I did put this one, give you a link to the Excel version on your day 3 page. Shirley, welcome back. Welcome back. So you can access this in Excel as well. And I set it up the exact same way so that you could just copy them from the day 1 table into the day 3 table and then just reorganize the line items. So anyway, what she ended up doing, this was Kimberly. We're talking about the divorce debt that caused her such angst. I mean, this was a beyond the 5 in the emotional charge column. So she essentially settled it for $1,500. We worked out a payment plan for her. She didn't have all of that right away, but within 3 months, it was all paid off. She saved $700 off of paying that debt, which then she was able to use to fast track paying off more in different debt. So, you know, it's so amazing what we're able to do when we really recognize that it's in our power to do something about this debt. That's why I even started day 1 with believing it's possible to get it all paid off. So, so I really want you to create the list, understand the list, prioritize it in a way that works, and then jump into our group, the Own Your Money, Own Your Life group. If you're not in it yet, well, some of you may actually, I want to say most of your names look familiar to me, but just in case you're watching it direct on Periscope, make sure that you are in the challenge so that you have access to the videos, to the lessons, to the Excel templates that I'm providing you. And then jump on the group and let me know how it feels to have your debt organized in a way so that you know what you're going to be paying off first. And we're going to talk over the rest of these 7 days about how to snowball the payments, how to get them paid off faster, how to really step into this place of power and money smarts even, let's say, because you know how you're prioritizing them, you know what you're going to tackle first, and then you can even do like Kimberly did and call up your company and say, you know what, you are my number 1 debt, I want to get you paid off, so what are you willing to do to work with me? And then on Friday, because a sneak peek, I think it's Friday, yep, Friday we're going to talk about lowering your rates and negotiating down and settling some of that debt. So what questions do you have in terms of, thanks for the hearts, guys, and thanks for jumping back on for part 2. That was so weird. So let me know, what questions do you have when it comes to prioritizing your debt? And for those of you who have a lot of student loans, I know there was somebody, so I'm going to wait for some questions to pop up here. But I know some of you have a lot of different student loans. And so in that case, we might end up consolidating all the student loans together. One woman said she had 13 different student loans. So instead of necessarily keeping them as all individual items, what might be best in a case like that is actually to consolidate them all. So let me know, when you looked at this and when you started to do day 3, or when you even just look at your list now while we're talking, what questions do you have when it comes to prioritizing? Just jump on in and ask. This is how I look at it as a live Q&A session. I have a few more minutes. I'm trying to keep these to about 30 minutes between, at this point, part 1 and part 2. Should you include your car loan? That's a great question, Dee. So, Dee, let me know. Do you have credit card debt? Do you have other things too? And what's the interest rate on your car loan? Joan, if my credit card interest rate is 8.9%, I think you mean, do I need to refinance? So a couple of things. First, let's talk about the car loan. And then, so hold off on your questions. Let me answer those two first. So, the car loan, I have to tell you, lately I have been seeing, okay, thanks, Joan. I have been seeing such high interest rates for people for their car loans. And I think what happens is that if your credit isn't very good, then the car companies essentially say, well, we can, I think, take advantage of you. And so what happens is that instead of getting that introductory or like the publicized rate of 0.9% or 1.9%, I've had people come to me with car loans of 8.9, 13.9% even, which is essentially like a bad credit card. But they needed a car, so they were kind of between a rock and a hard place, and they had to take out their loan. So I would say probably yes, put on your car loan, particularly if it's at a higher rate and if you want to get it paid off quicker. For a lot of people, your car loan, yes, you have credit card debt, the interest rate on the car loan is 2.9%. Okay, so you can put it on the listy, but I think essentially what's going to happen is that you're going to really target your credit card debt above in this prioritization table, because I would bet you money, except for maybe some 0% card or cards you may have, that your credit card debt will be higher than 2.9%. So what you're going to do is you're really going to direct your energies towards getting those credit card debts paid off, and then looking at your car loan. But at 2.9%, that's relatively cheap money, is the term. Like, it's a pretty low interest rate. And so I would likely have you, if you were my client and we were having a direct discussion, have you pay off your higher interest rate credit cards first, and then probably start to build a little bit of savings cushion so before you start attacking your car loan, so that you don't get yourself into any credit card debt again. And then if you needed to, you would have a place to be pulling it from. Does it make sense to consolidate with a company like Payoff? I have about $8,000 in consumer debt in 3 cards. It definitely can. Let me know what interest rates you have. And we're going to talk about, I want to say it's day 6. We're going to talk about payoff loans. And I'm going to write myself a note. I'm going to get you all a link even to get you kind of special treatment from Payoff, see what I can do here. In terms of any payoff loans as well. So I have had several clients actually that have done consolidation loans, and it's been fantastic, mainly to lower your welcome. And you know what? I'm going to get the link and I will post it in our group. If your student loan percentage is lower than your mortgage percentage, repost that. I haven't had a chance to look at the emails you sent. I've been busy with work. I apologize. I totally get it. I'm also posting them in the group. I'm pinning them to the top each day so that you can see what that day's assignment is. And what I would say is over the weekend, just catch up. I think a lot of times what we do around money in particular is that we hype it up as something that's super complicated and hard, and then we keep putting it off. You literally can do these exercises in like 10 minutes a day, anywhere from like 3 to 5 to 15 minutes a day. It doesn't actually take that long. So just set aside a little bit of a percentage and let's get you going. Work on your mortgage if it's a lower percentage than your student loan. Oh, that was the one that you just posted. No, actually the other way around. You're welcome. So if your mortgage is a lower percentage than your student loans, you're going to leave your mortgage, particularly because that's an installment loan. They usually are at better rates, and pretty much everything is usually higher than your mortgage loan. I will have people start to fast track paying off their mortgage, usually as they get a little bit older, because as you get older, what generally we want to do is start to simplify and reduce your monthly expenses. Oh, your student loan is a lower percentage, but I've got a PMI on your mortgage. Okay, so then in that case, Katie, thanks for clarifying. You would likely leave your student loans, and then what we may do is use the extra cash once you paid off your credit card debt to pay down the PMI, because PMIs generally are at higher rates than your mortgage is at. So PMI stands for private mortgage insurance, and that's if you didn't have up to 20% equity in your home when you first took out your mortgage. Sometimes, by the way, what people can do too, if appraisal values have risen, you can refinance your mortgage so that maybe you can even reduce your PMI. It really depends on when you purchased and how much you've been paying in to your mortgage and how much home values, that's the word I was looking for, have gone up. So let me just get back to Joan's question, and then I think I'm current. Um, Joan, you can feel free to ask it again because I'm trying to remember now, like 10 minutes ago. um, so, um, Joan's question, if you have an 8.9%, should you try and negotiate down? Um, and I think that was credit card debt. I think it's always worth it to try and negotiate it down. And we're going to talk about rates on day 5 on Friday. When you're at under 9%, they often don't, because they usually don't go below like 7.9, at least as far as I found with myself, because I've called and my clients. But it's always worth a call, okay? Or if what we may want to do with you, Joan, is consider a 0% card. And we're going to be talking about those because some of those can be really good, but some of those can be really bad. So that may be a better option, but it's always worth a quick 5-minute phone call to see what you can do to negotiate it down. So that's the answer to the question on the 8.9% rate. And something like a payoff can't generally get below, hold on, you know what, let me find my payoff folder. Hold on just one second for me. You're seeing my organizing system behind you. Hold on, we're going to come over here. You're welcome, Joan. Here's my payoff folder. Okay. So I actually had emailed them in preparation for doing this Ditch Your Debt Challenge. One of the things you'll find out about me is I'm very thorough. Thank you for your answer. Your credit card stresses you more than your car debt. Yeah, of course it does, Dee. You're normal. So what we'll likely do then is really hit your credit card debt harder. So I had messaged Payoff to connect with them and to understand more about their loans, and we can certainly talk more about it next week when we talk about your options and we talk about payoff loans. But just in general, what they told me is that their rates are generally between 8 and even 22%, depending on your credit score. They don't work in Massachusetts, and I know many of you may be in the Massachusetts area, but they do cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like 30 plus states. You can even ask me if they cover your state, and I can tell you. Their FICO score minimum is 660, so you do need to get your credit score over that. But it serves just really well for things like credit card refinancing and debt consolidation when your rates are higher. Like when your rates are at the tune of 15%, 20%, 30%, 33%. I mean, people are paying these on a regular basis, right? It's bad enough that you have a balance, but let's just run some quick numbers. And I'm going to pull out my crazy big calculator again. You guys remember this? Remember we all laughed about this the other day? So if you have, well, actually, I'll just run some easy numbers in my head. If you have $9,000 in credit card debt, and if you're paying a 33% interest rate, then every year you carry that debt, you are paying $3,000 on that $9,000 to carry that balance. That's crazy because you're paying this crazy high 33% rate. But look at this. So if you have $9,000 of debt, and even if you're at a 20% rate, which I see pretty frequently, you're paying every year $1,800 in interest. You're basically like throwing away. You're like, here, credit card company, just take my money. I have nothing better to do with $1,800. We know that's not the case. But when you carry a balance and it's at a high interest rate, that's what happens. So what we're going to do today is, I've really just laid out this Ditch Your Debt Challenge in bite-sized chunks. So day 3, all we're doing is we're going to take your debt and we're going to prioritize it in a way that makes sense, in a way that will address the emotional charge, but also in a way that will address gaining some momentum and getting some things paid off. So what other questions do you have? I think that I answered everything that I saw come through so far. So let me know if you have any more questions here before we go. How are we doing on time? About pretty good. We're at about a half an hour now. Any more questions as you are prioritizing? And you can ask on our private Facebook group as well if you're in the challenge. Do you recommend getting another credit card with no APR for a few months and a 22.9% after? I don't know what after no transfer means. If it means you're paying 22.9% now, that's crazy. If it means that the 0% card has a 22.9% rate at the end of your promotional period, that's actually really high and could probably get you into more trouble. And then I might suggest doing something more like a consolidation loan if we can get that for you. You do want to be really careful though. Yes, yeah. So pay attention before you do anything, Maria. Collect any offers that you have. Wait until day 6, which is going to be next Monday. And I'm going to go over offers. This could be the most shocking and eye-opening for all of you because I want to really highlight some of what is in there. The current APR is 27.99%. Maria, if you're willing to share, what's the credit card balance that is at the 27.99%? So what you're going to learn is that these balance transfer cards are not all created equal. I found some, and I have a huge bag of offers that I sifted through, and I have a big list that I'm going to send you. You have to go your work. I totally understand. You can get the rest on the replay. We're going to end it in about 5 minutes anyway. D Nice, thanks for taking the time to work. $2,900 balance. Okay, so I just want to run some quick numbers for you, Maria, and just so that everybody really understands. So a $2,900 balance, the difference of the 5%, so this was between the 27.99% and what will translate into a 22.9% at the end of that promotional period, is only $145 in a year. So that makes like a $12 difference. You too, client here. Okay, great. Love you too, Shirley. Take care. You do great work. I can be a testament to that. So, Maria, it's only $12 a month difference. What I would rather see you do is fast track the $2,900. Let's find you something like an extra, let's say $300 a month. And then that way in 10 months, the whole thing is done. The other thing about a balance transfer, which is in the fine print, and like I said, tune in on Monday, is that on that $2,900, you're going to be paying upfront $87. So before you get any benefit of the balance transfer, you're going to be paying them almost $90. So yeah, in the first year you could save $145, but that $60 may not be worth it if you then end up getting stuck with a 22.9% rate at the end, if you don't have a good promotional rate for very long at the beginning. And what this low disk space thing is for joining. I have no idea why it's happening. I'm going to just try and clear out my phone tonight, maybe. Maybe that's the problem. I don't really know. I have no idea why anything should be affecting your scoping ability or my scoping ability to share with you. Thanks all for jumping back on. We're going to wrap it up anyway because I have a client in 3 minutes. Sorry, I disconnected. I know. I have no idea why. No idea. I think it's just time to go. But anyway, this last piece, we were really just talking about balance transfers. Join me on day 6. Just keep going, okay? I know sometimes we want to jump ahead. I will answer all of these questions. I have to update my scope. Okay, well, thank you, T Green. That's super weird. Thanks, Tom, for joining. I did actually update my Periscope app. Maybe there's a new update I haven't done yet. I will check that out. So go back and watch part 1 and part 2 do you recommend temporarily suspending your 401k contribution to free up money to put towards debt? Maybe. We are going to cover that in day 8, I think it is. Thanks so much. You'll keep tuning in and check in on the Facebook page. Awesome, Maria. That's great. So Dee, come back for more. I'm going to talk about a lot of different options. Sometimes it can make sense to do something like the 401k. But I'm going to talk about all the different options you have, and there might just be a better option. 401ks are tricky because if you're getting any sort of a match, then you're getting free money. Usually, let's say if you put in 5%, your company is putting in 5%, they're literally handing you cash. And I don't necessarily want you to give them the high five and the Heisman, and to turn down their money. So usually we want to at least keep your 401k in. Thanks, guys, for your patience. So weird that this is happening. We want to at least have you keep contributing your 401k so that you get that free money in the match. Anyway, jump on our Facebook group, okay? Thanks for the initiative. I'm so encouraged to tackle your debt. You are welcome. I'm so glad to hear that. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. Make sure you follow me so you'll get news on tomorrow's scope when I go live. And just post real quick now on our Facebook group with how it feels to organize your debt in a way that really feels doable and feels like you can do it and you can move forward. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining today. Once again, I am Belinda Rosenblum with Own Your Money. Thanks for all the hearts. Just go back and listen to the replay. This third part was super quick, and just a quick recap, as we talked all about prioritizing our debt. Oh my gosh, His and Her Money. I'm so sorry that I am actually ending the scope now, but His and Her Money, I love your guys' scopes. They're so great. I'm bummed that I didn't make it to FinCon, but I did appreciate you guys posting Tiffany's presentation and We're in Contact. We have a lot of dream catchers in this group. Ah, yeah, you guys are fantastic. It's actually inspiring to have my husband maybe join me for some scopes, because he's definitely drank the Kool-Aid of Own Your Money too. So anyway, so what I would say is just jump back, follow me with the little dude over here, and then go, and when you click on me and you click follow, you'll see, yes, Dreamcatcher is awesome. You'll see that I have 3 scopes from today, and then you might even be able to access yesterday's scope as well. And I do actually archive all my scopes on catch.me. It's at katch.me. And we're even posting them into YouTube, into our YouTube channel there, and creating a whole playlist, so that then you have that as an added resource too, besides the videos and besides the daily lessons. So thanks so much for joining, everybody. Again, today was all about prioritizing that debt. And I even gave you some extra bonus tips about doing, using your 401k contribution cash if you want to reduce that, and balance transfers, and kind of how they can cost you and when they can work for you. We're going to spend a lot more on that next week. Next week is a really big week. The way it works is day 1 through 5 is this Monday through Friday, then a couple bonus emails over the weekend, and then day 6 through 10 is going to be next Monday to Friday. And I'm scoping every day on that day's lesson. Go catch the replay. Absolutely, His and Her Money. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for following. And feel free to share this. And if you're not in the challenge yet, I'm happy to welcome you into. Everyone is taking this Ditch Your Debt Challenge at ditchyourdebtchallenge.com. It's a free 10-day virtual course that I'm doing. We're in day 3, but I have it set up so that as soon as you join, you get immediate access to the past days that you missed. And each day is anywhere from the low end, maybe 3 minutes to do, let's say, up to 15 minutes to do. So it's all super possible for you to be fitting into your life and into your schedule. So thanks very much. I have a client, right now, who's going to be calling in. So I've got to run. Sorry for the technical difficulties too, but I will definitely work on that tonight. And I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. for the scope. Right on time. There's the client. Take care, everybody. Thanks for the hearts. You guys are awesome. Keep ditching your debt. You're welcome. You're welcome. And please keep posting on our Facebook group. Hold on one sec. Let me answer this. Hello there, Karen. Good, good. Hold on just one sec for me, okay? Thanks so much. Okay, that's Karen. She's here for a 1:45 appointment. She's in my Rich Life Mastery group too, calling in for a session. So thanks very much, everybody. Have a wonderful day and keep ditching your debt. Once again, I'm Belinda Rosenblum with Own Your Money, where you don't have to let your money own you. You can own your money. Thanks, everybody.